Moving to House Bill 4156 that was just signed this week, there are some concerns raised by different industries about possible labor shortages because of legislation now becoming law. Can you speak more to ways we can solve that issue? And I know there's a task force that also you plan to assemble. Can you speak more to how that task force will work here in Oklahoma?
Sure, yeah. So for Oklahomans, I mean, in 4156 was, I think, the legislature's attempt to, help with border security, to push back on the Biden's policies. President Biden has got us in a really tough situation. There's been 16 million come illegal across the southern border. That's according to a lot of estimates. And so we have to have border security, number one, right? We're going to be a law and order state. But it really broke my heart thinking about some of the working families in Oklahoma that were very fearful of this. I've talked to law enforcement. It's not the intent of hardworking people that are here, that are working, that are doing the right thing. This, I think, is an attempt to put a tool in the toolbox for the law enforcement. That if you're breaking the law, if you're involved in an illegal marijuana industry and some things that are happening there, then they want to make sure that we're a law and order state. At the same time, I know we have a broken workforce visa immigration policy. It's broken. The feds are not fixing it. So I set this task force up just to say, can we do our own workforce visas? Because if you're going to be paying taxes and working hard, and you're going to be part of an Oklahoma economy and our society, and you want to become an American, we need more workforce. And we need it in our manufacturing, in our agriculture, in our construction industry. And I'm not talking about U.S. citizenship, but I'm talking about, a workforce permit. And so it just makes a lot of sense to me. So I asked the task force, can we figure that out in the state of Oklahoma, which would obviously put a lot of pressure on the feds to do their job. And so that's what I hope the task force comes away with. But I'm trying to alleviate some fear that, if you're doing things the right way, then I don't think you have a lot to worry about here in Oklahoma.
I've been talking to some law enforcement in the Tulsa Metro about the immigration bill, and they're not mad, they get it, but their fear is this is going to be non-funded mandate. They don't have access to the software. Do they need to hire somebody to do immigration a day and then a second person at night? Do you feel, especially as budget talks are happening next week, maybe you need some grants or something in the budget to help law enforcement adjust to the bill you just signed?
Well, if I know Tulsa and Oklahoma City kind of did both those police departments put out a press statement on trying to alleviate some fear. If they need a special appropriation, then obviously we're still in session. They can bring that over to the appropriation chairs and talk to them about it. Would not be opposed to that. Again, we're going to be a law and order state. And when those bills come to my desk, it was a pretty simple. I mean, this basically just said we have to follow the law. And I'd also say it's already illegal to come to Oklahoma undocumented, to come into the United States undocumented. That's already against the law. So this law didn't not really change anything on that specific thing. So, but really we're trying to highlight the border security, and then we're trying to highlight also the need for workforce permits, right? So if you're going to be here and you want to contribute, and you've got an employer that needs to hire a labor, and you've got somebody that wants to work and do the right thing, and they don't have any kind of criminal background, and they want to be part of our system, then of course we ought to make a way for that. And so that's what the task force is for. But I haven't heard specifically from Tulsa or Oklahoma City that they're going to need more resources to check some kind of database. If they need that, then you just talk to the appropriation chairs.